This is going to be a little different than what I normally do. So it's kind of a little bit of a PSA. Not a bad one or anything. I'm going to talk about fibroids. Earlier today I went to the OB because, it's my yearly checkup. It's time for me to get my check. And I've always had fibroids, you guys. That's not uncommon for me. Had fibroids when I had Sydney, had fibroids when I had Chloe. And if I've never mentioned it, because I had fibroids, it did cause me to have a miscarriage before getting pregnant with Chloe. I'm on here because, you guys, I thought fibroids are real. I mean, they are really real. And until you get the information you need and the understanding about fibroids, I don't know. You just don't know. I guess you just don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. But I was going to vlog me going to the doctor, and I was like, you know what? They probably don't want to see this. And it was just something telling me I should have. And I should have. But I didn't. I didn't vlog me in the doctor's office and all that because I have been seeing the same OBGYN for a long time. Hopefully this is not going to be long and drawn out. I've been seeing the same OBGYN for a long time. He retired in the midst of, my year. From me seeing him last year till now, he has retired. So today was my first day meeting the new doctor that was on board. I was totally nervous. I actually cried when my doctor sent out the notice saying that he was going to retire. I actually cried because we've been through so much together, especially when I had my miscarriage before Chloe. Because most doctors would say, oh, don't try to have a kid, soon, and the doctor I had just told me just whatever God says. But long story short, let's fast forward to today. I've been having symptoms of, I'm saying all this because I know a lot of women don't talk about this stuff. And he also told me that it's, fibroids are really common in Black women. So if you don't want to hear this part, you might want to just fast forward to the vlog. I don't even know how I'm going to put this in. But when I went to the doctor today, I kind of told him some things that were going on, because I'm like, maybe I'm going into menopause or premenopausal and, because I'm having hot flashes. I did notice that I was gaining weight, which I've kind of shared a little bit of that with you guys. Didn't think nothing of it. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gaining weight because, I'm getting up in age, I'm gaining weight, no big deal. I also have been having heavy periods, and my periods were so heavy where I have to literally lay down in the bed and other little things that go on. I mean, I think this is what women are afraid to talk about, especially when they go to the doctor. Like, my periods were heavy, you guys. Heavy enough where I'm like, am I losing too much blood? Didn't think nothing of it. Like I said, I know I have fibroids. So anyway, I went to the doctor today, and he said that my uterus is the size of a grapefruit. So my fibroids are, basically getting bigger. And I know for a fact that it probably has happened in the last couple of months, because that's when I started noticing, like, gosh, my periods are getting heavier. And even it was kind of when I would have to go to the bathroom to urinate, I was like, gosh, I gotta go. I would tell Jason, like, oh, I gotta hurry up and go to the bathroom. Didn't think nothing of that. But that's actually a sign also that your fibroids are growing and they're pushing on things. I don't want to tell you guys the wrong information, so I'm going to read this definition I have on the computer here. It says uterine fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that form from muscular tissue on the uterine wall. You can develop one or several fibroids. These tumors can range in size from as small as a seed to as large as a grapefruit, which mine is. It's distorting and enlarging the uterus. The growths are almost always benign. So I have a little pudge. I mean, and see how much, it's not bad, you guys, but It's bad enough for me because I feel like when I go out, I have to have on some type of jacket, or a shirt that kind of covers it. I'm thinking, hey, I had 4 kids, just getting older. So I was going to deal with it. I'm also having hot flashes and all that kind of stuff where I wake up in full-blown sweats. So I was talking to him about menopause, premenopause, which he gave me something, for that. But he said, your uterus is a grapefruit. And if you're having heavy bleeding with pain, we need to do something else, So I'm like, oh, okay. Like I said, this is a new doctor for me. So I'm getting all this information. I'm meeting him, trying to get a feel for him. I'm telling him all my issues, and I'm thinking, because my dad passed away, maybe I was gaining weight because just stress, because we're still dealing with stuff that most family deals with when a loved one passes away. So I'm like, okay, I'll chop it up to that. When I went to church this past Sunday, I'm like, gosh, my stomach is kind of bulging. Still didn't think nothing of it, just gaining weight. Me and Jason started working out together because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just let him help me. And then I'm just trying to change my eating and all that stuff. But yeah, my uterus is the size of a grapefruit right now. And what I've been doing, and I decided to just turn on the camera. I've been processing this, watching YouTube videos on it. And even when I walked out the office, I was like, all the things he was telling me are signs that I've been having, but I didn't tell him that because I didn't know they all correlated together. So I am like, I've been sitting here probably for 2 hours just Googling, watching videos and all that stuff. And he did tell me, we could start off with a pill for him to try to shrink my uterus first. He definitely, didn't go for hysterectomy. And I have heard that just watching videos that some doctors will go straight for hysterectomy. And he did not mention that, thank God. And I wouldn't have known at that moment in time anyway if that was a bad thing or a good thing. But now I know. Straight up just saying that I need a hysterectomy is not good. So he told me he can give me a pill. That would be the next step. If I start having pains with my periods, urinating frequently, those are signs too. And I do have that as a symptom. I'm going to share with you guys the signs real quick. Painful periods and cramping, increased bleeding, frequent urination, or you can't hold it. I'm thinking, okay, I've had 4 kids. Maybe that's why, that I got to make sure I hurry up and go. That's because it was getting bigger. That's why. Constipation and lower back pain. So I am like, I have pretty much all those symptoms. And I didn't think absolutely nothing of it. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm just, I'm getting older. That's just life. No big deal. But yeah, as I'm sitting here processing it, I decided to turn on the camera because I'm like, you know what? Then I started telling myself, hey, we're going on vacation. I don't know, what he's going to tell me to do after that. So I have decided, I'm processing things right now, and I'm still processing things. But I want to get on here in this moment to share with you guys, if you're having any one of those symptoms, don't just chop it up and don't say nothing. I am so serious because I just didn't think nothing of it. I'm thinking, I'm just gaining a little bit of weight, no big deal. Hopefully everybody's going to the OB every year. If you're not, you guys, and it sounds like you're having some of those symptoms, you need to get in to see a OBGYN. You really do. He even told me to make sure I don't get pregnant or anything, because not that I'm looking to have any more kids or anything. It just makes you think, Like I said, in this moment, I am still processing things. Jason is in their sleep, so I haven't even talked to him about it. And my doctor told me if I need to call him back, they'll get me back in if, any of these symptoms progress. As I'm sitting there talking to him, I'm not thinking, oh, I do have heavy periods. Oh, I do urinate a lot and I can barely hold it. I didn't process all this until I got home and I was really able to sit down and process it. It's fresh. It's new. But I know something has to get done, because he also talked about my hormones. And I did just leave the lab also because I got my blood work done to check my thyroids and my FSH. But yeah, fibroids are really, especially if they start growing, you guys, and he talk to me about that and how it's feeding it. It's feeding it. I mean, and I'm looking at pictures of the size of a grapefruit. It's like, wow. So it's really hitting me right now. And it's just something to think about, you know. Not the end of the world, but it can get really bad. But because I know that I'm not used to having a stomach, I got to get something done. You know what I mean? And just, you know, some relief, not just the stomach part. My periods are really heavy, and this could be TMI for a lot of you guys. So hopefully, you know, it's just women watching this part. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do from now on. I am going to document this journey. I don't necessarily know what my next step is, because literally my fibroid grew probably in the last couple months, you guys. The last couple months. So it's growing pretty fast, because I can think about the time I started telling Jason, like, gosh, I feel like I'm having a blood transfusion. I feel like I'm losing a lot of blood. And I'm like, I am too old for this, you know, but it was growing, and I didn't know it. It was growing. So that's why it's so important, you guys, to go to the doctor. And I mentioned that back when I was getting a mammogram done. My doctor turned out to be a sweetheart. I like him like my other doctor. Like I said, when my other doctor told me he was leaving, I was crying. I was crying to Jason. I was crying when I called the front desk to make my appointment. I literally was not going to even go to the doctor this year because I was scared. And I'm like, I don't want to meet another doctor. I was like looking for other doctors. Not that I even knew anything about this doctor that replaced him. And I should have known, because I trusted my other doctor so much, my other OB so much. If I trust him, I should trust who he decided to put into his place. And like I said, this guy is just as sweet. And he just talked about, you know, how fibroids are very common in Black women. And you can just tell he's a kind-hearted person. And just the fact that I realized that he didn't mention hysterectomy at first makes me even respect him even more, because I have learned since watching videos that if a doctor recommends that first, you need to go get a second opinion. That is something that I've learned, and I am just grateful. I'm grateful. Every day, you guys, you can think about something to be grateful for. I'm just grateful. Yeah, I even broke down in the office because, of course, I'm mentioning to him, like, maybe it's stress from my dad passing, and I'm crying. I'm in there crying, you know, because every time I talk about my dad, I get very emotional. So I'm going to get off the camera. Hopefully I said something to encourage somebody, and I will definitely take you guys on this journey. Hopefully this wasn't too long. How long is this? How long have I been recording? 17 minutes. Oh, you guys are gonna kill me. So hopefully you sped through this. I might make this his own video. I don't even know. But anyway, bye guys. It's been a couple hours since the last clip, but I wanted to get back on here. I feel so much better. I did some meditation. I prayed to the Lord. I did a lot of thinking. I had to just stop for a little bit. I had to stop. Like I said, when I was talking to you guys in that last clip, I had kind of just got back, was still processing everything, and I just had to take some time to myself. So before I make a phone call to the doctor, you know, which could be at this point, because I first had to kind of educate myself a little bit. And I did that. And I still got a lot of more educating myself to go on this situation. Because if you know me, you know that I don't like to take pills. I don't even like taking headache pills, you guys. I like to do everything naturally if I can, and prayer. That's what I like to do. So what my first step is going to be, it's going to be first educating myself. And then I have found some research papers that I'm going to read through on how to try to shrink my fibroid naturally, because that I would prefer to do that, and give myself some time before I jump into the next step. Now, mind you, my doctor is not even talking about hysterectomy or nothing like that. He's talking about giving me a pill that will help shrink my uterus. And, you know, we didn't really talk about a lot of that because my mind was so much information being told to me, And like I said, I'm still trying to learn this doctor and everything. So I was overwhelmed in that moment. I was overwhelmed. So that is my first step. I'm going to educate myself, and I have done some researching already, and I'm feeling good about a lot of things. At this point, I need to change some things in my diet that feed fibroids. You guys, I'm not going to even speak on it yet. I will keep you guys updated, but that is going to be my first step. And I got some more research papers I have to read and dive into. I have found a lot of doctors that are more on the natural side, and that's what I would prefer to do. So before I make a phone call back to my doctor, which I was so overwhelmed that I was like, I'm going to call him back. I'm going to try some things first. So I'm feeling so much better than I was in that last clip. Not that I was feeling horrible, but when you get thrown that whew, and then just knowing that all these symptoms was because my uterus is the size of a grapefruit is just like, it's a relief in a way, because I'm like, man, I don't have to have this little pouch on me. I'm so excited. But I'm the first step is educating myself some more, and I'm about to change some things in my diet for real this time, for real, to help really shrink these, because I'm feeling good about a lot of things. But I wanted to hop on here and let you guys know I am definitely okay. And hopefully you guys understood that last clip, because I was, I did that. I wanted you guys to see just how I felt in the raw, and especially right after coming back from the doctor's office. But I definitely feel so much better now. But I just want to share that. Here I go rambling again. All right, guys, I will keep you updated. And you guys, I am feeling so good. I'm feeling so good now. See, it only takes a little bit. When you can talk to the Lord, thank God I got his phone number. Thank God I got his phone number, and he is on speed dial anyway.